Good night and welcome to the weekend news on air and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Andrea Chisholm. There's a strong warning tonight about a new telephone scam which has emerged in Jamaica, and mobile phone users are expressing concern. It's reported that persons have received calls from a number appearing to be from Poland. However, the danger is when you answer. More in this report. 4861-423-6651, one of the telephone numbers that is creating havoc for Jamaicans and other persons across the world. Some even took to social media today, claiming they have seen missed calls from the number. One lady asked, "A new set of scammers maybe?" It turns out that the calls are said to be a type of scam known as wangiri, a Japanese word meaning one ring and cut. And the scam has apparently lived up to its name. When the victims call back the numbers, it eats off their phone credit or their phone bill is hiked. All of that money goes to the scammer. In responding to queries, Digicel Jamaica says it has been blocking some overseas numbers involved in the One Ring scam. Digicel also warned customers not to return the calls. If they do accept the calls, they should hang up quickly. Customers should not share personal information and should ignore instructions to enter a PIN. Days after the Special Zones of Operations Bill was passed in the lower house, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has indicated that faith-based organizations such as churches will assist in its implementation. He made the disclosure at the recent Stella Maris fundraising banquet. Details in this report from TVJ's Giovanni Dennis.
The controversial bill was passed last Wednesday in the House of Representatives with 18 amendments. The bill also received bipartisan support after weeks of public quarreling. In its current form, social intervention will be a necessary component of the crime-fighting strategy. The Prime Minister has indicated that the church and faith-based groups will be targeted. He explains that while it's not exactly divine intervention, it's an intervention that the government can't do without.
The government will be engaging faith-based initiatives in the fight against crime. That we want to partner with the churches in meaningful ways to help with parenting, to help with early childhood education, to help with youth engagement, to help with family planning, and help with dealing with the poor and dispossessed. Government can't do it alone.
Mr. Holness has not shared the details on the extent of their involvement. However, he explains why the government believes the church has the ability to do what the government is unable to do.
We will be at creative ways of delivering these kinds of social intervention services, counseling and the like in the areas of special operations. And I believe that the strategy that we are putting in place will have an effect on the crime rate. It will bring down the murder rate in particular. It is not the only strategy we are employing, but it is one tool in the toolkit.
Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.
Despite statistics indicating that murders and shootings are on the increase, the National Security Minister is reporting an overall 5% reduction in major crimes. The minister, who was speaking in Parliament last week, also shared details of plans to electronically monitor some persons who are out on bail. More in this report. Break-ins, rapes, robbery, larceny, aggravated assault. 5 major crimes which have decreased between January and June 24 this year, according to the minister. But with reports of double and even quadruple murders, 2 other categories are still posing a challenge.
Murders and shootings are the 2 categories that are up of all the major categories of crime. Taken together, Mr. Speaker, there has been a 5% decrease in crime since January to June 24, 2017 over 2016.
Nonetheless, the government says it's taking steps to bring crime under control. One such method, the use of electronic bracelets.
We are moving to finalize an agreement with a supplier for specialized equipment to be deployed on our road network, and another electronic supplier to give us electronic bracelets to be used as a condition of bail as some 134 persons on bail for serious crimes have allegedly committed murder while being on bail.
Increasing the mobility of police officers is still on the to-do list. Just last week, TVJ News highlighted that St. Anne has 11 police stations but only 14 vehicles. Mr. Montague reiterated that 30 cars were recently handed over to the police commissioner for distribution.
Another 45 units are on their way to the police commissioner, and another batch will be sent in another couple of days. And there is a schedule until the full 200 units are delivered.
Ballistic vests and helmets have also been bought for distribution. Timely interventions, as the minister points out that the majority of police personnel have left the force due to poor working conditions.
And this administration, therefore, is moving to put to effect major repairs to 30 police stations this year. But starting in July, we will be doing routine maintenance on 197 police stations across the length and breadth of Jamaica.
So what about recruitment? Mr. Montague says the dormitories at Twickenham Park and Harman Barracks are being upgraded so that 650 police personnel can be trained in one batch.
And we do have 2 batches per year, and that will ultimately result in 1,300 persons being trained per year. But, Mr. Speaker, we must also add in that equation that although we are operating at approximately 3,000 persons below establishment strength, we have an average of 500 officers who leave the force annually.
The Westmoreland Police are urging the public to assist them in finding 10 men who are wanted for murders in the parish. They are Cordington Godfrey, otherwise called Tommy, Saddam Mullings, who is wanted for a quadruple killing, Bern Shearer, otherwise called Bap, Steve Vassell, otherwise called Bus Mistrength, and Dudley White. These persons are also wanted for questioning. O'Brien Ellis, otherwise called Joe Grind, Glenwar Roach, Kenwar Clark, also known as Max, and Navarone Hayes, otherwise called Cry Cry. In sports, led by a superb spell from captain Jason Holder, the West Indies senior men's team pulled off a dramatic 11-run victory over India. They were competing in the 4th one-day international at the Sir Viv Richards grounds in Antigua today.
The West Indies have claimed a rare ODI win after Jason Holder led the hosts to victory over India in a low-scoring affair.
West Indies keep hope alive in the series.
Openers Evan Lewis and Kyle Hope found the fence early.
Nice shot, that one.
Before Hope failed.
Should be a simple catch, yes.
And Lewis followed.
Out.
While India rued some careless fielding, their left-arm leggy sparked a collapse.
And Kuldeep Yadav here once again,
as his namesake consigned the Windies to a measly 9 for 189.
Taken. Very good reaction from Umesh Yadav.
In reply, India lost their skipper to his counterpart.
Kohli fails for the second time.
As Ajinkya Rahane made the West Indies pay for a let-off.
Half century to Ajinkya Rahane.
While Hardik Pandya got inventive.
Oh well. The bowler's looking down and saying, what happened there?
And MS Dhoni did his thing on the way to the slowest half-century of his career.
His 74th 50.
The visitors' canter to an easy win was stopped in its tracks by the rampant Holder.
Bowled him!
The skipper claiming his best ever ODI figures in a memorable victory in Antigua.
And Jason Holder gets a fifer. West Indies keep hope alive in the series.
And that's the nightly news. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Up next, the movie The Enforcer. Good night and pleasant viewing.
The following program contains material that may not be suitable for children under the age of 13 years. Parental discretion.